Okay, hi guys. So in this lecture, we'll be seeing more examples on Grignard reagent. Okay, so you have to identify the major products or just the products which are formed um, as a result of the following reactions. So identify products. Okay, so we have something like this where we have PHMGBr and we reacted with CH3Br. So obviously SN2 reaction will take place and this will act as a nucleophile. So we'll get something like toluene and MgBr2. Okay, second is we react PHMGBr with this compound and Br attached here. So what would be the product here? So obviously we won't be removing this Br because removal of this Br will actually create a slight positive charge on intermediate on the phenyl ring, which is the formation of highly unstable aryl cation. Hence this on this carbon we will be having a substitution. So this Br will remain intact and we will have something like CH2PH. Obviously plus deletion plus product formed is MgBrCl. Okay, we have third reaction as something like this, in which we have this as MgBr, PHMGBr again, and we have this. So what would the product formed in this case? Obviously this would be attacking on this carbon atom, so we would have something like CH2O CH3. Okay, let's talk about this case. We have PHMGBr and it's reacting with Br2. So what will happen? Again this will act on one Br that would be having partial positive charge, and the other Br will be leaving the Br bond as a negative Br. So we'll have MgBr2 formed along with bromobenzene. Okay, next we have something like this, PHMGBr plus we have Cl2. Again the same type of thing will happen, PHCl plus MgBrCl. Okay, next we have something like PHMGBr plus ICl. So in this case, which compound or which atom would have partial positive and partial negative charge? Obviously this would have partial positive and partial negative charge will be on chlorine. Why? Because the electronegativity of iodine is lesser than the electronegativity of chlorine. Hence this would be the case, and hence pH would be attacking on the positively charged iodine. So we will be getting iodobenzene plus MgBrCl. This is an important reaction, just remember this in mind. Okay, so let us have something like PHMGBr plus we have dry ice or CO2. What would happen in this case? We would have something like O minus pH and Mg plus and Br here. Okay, so followed by H plus, or in acidic medium we'll get something like the pH would be on this carbon atom. Okay, so we'll be getting something like pH C double bond O OH or benzene carboxylic acid. Okay, now let us look at some more examples. We have something like this, PHMGBr in reaction with SO3 gas. So we will be getting something like benzene sulfonic acid. Okay, Let's have a look at this reaction where we have pH MgBr reacting with sulfur. So in this case we'll be having something like PHSH. Okay, let's have something like, obviously we are providing acidic medium later on in the reaction. Okay, so RMgBr, let's suppose this is in excess and we are reacting it with PbCl4. Okay, PHCl4, I beg your pardon. So what would be the product formed? It would be simply R4 pH. What would be the first step? The first step would be PHCl would be released and we would have PHR and Cl3 would be here. Okay, so just remember in this reaction that this reaction has means obviously this R minus will be acting as a nucleophile, and this will be pH in the intermediate would have a partial positive charge, but this reaction obviously have the unstable vinyl cation, but this reaction has to take place when we actually provide this in excess. Okay, so obviously some more higher temperature and pressure is required in this case, which I have not mentioned, but in the exam it would be explicitly mentioned. Okay, now we have something as RMgBr in excess again, and we have PbCl4. This time it's Pb. Obviously this actually happens in high temperature. I forgot to write high temperature and high pressure. Okay, it's given in the exam. Okay, then only it would take place, otherwise it won't take place. Okay, so just remember this fact. Okay, so we have will be getting something like Pb again R4 Pb. Okay, next example is RMgBr again in excess. We have SnCl2 here. So what would be the product formed? It would be simply again R2SN. Okay, so we have next set of examples here. So what actually happens when we react our Grignard reagent with the epoxide rings? So we have something like CS3MgBr and we are reacting with the 3-member epoxide ring. So the product would be obviously this would be attacking on this carbon atom, so we'll be finding something like this structure, and O negative will be again supplemented with H plus here. What happens when we react CS3MgBr with this? So we'll be getting again something like this. And what actually happens when we react CS3MgBr on this? So no reaction would take place because this epoxide is already stable. This won't undergo a Grignard reaction with the Grignard reagent. So with this we come to an end of this lecture. In the next lecture we will be discussing Lucas reagent. Till then, good luck and goodbye.